Throughout history, one case remains shrouded in mystery, prompting speculation. Was it a misunderstanding or an elaborate series of murders? In 1947, the town of Loudun, France, famous for its paranormal events, was thrown into chaos by a bizarre case. On October 25th, a businessman passed away in the town. Although his doctors were convinced that the cause of death was uremia, the story didn't end there. After the businessman was buried, his friend wrote a letter to the prosecutor, suggesting that there might be more to the businessman's death and strongly urging a reinvestigation. After 2 years of public pressure, the police decided to revisit the case. In 1949, they exhumed the businessman's grave and conducted an autopsy. The results shocked the entire town. The medical examiner found 19.45 milligrams of arsenic in the businessman's body. Arsenic is a highly toxic chemical element and a key ingredient in rat poison. The town's tranquility was shattered as speculations and questions about the businessman's death surged. If someone had indeed plotted this murder, the entire town faced a potential poisoning threat. At this point, the letter writer revealed more information, stating the businessman had confided in her that he was about to be poisoned because his wife had served him a bowl of soup and he saw her put some unknown liquid into it. The detectives then located Marie Besnard, the businessman's wife. Marie was an ordinary-looking woman with a warm smile, making it hard for the detective to imagine her as the potential murderer. When questioned about the unknown liquid mentioned by her husband, Leon Besnard, Marie remained silent. Without concrete evidence, the detectives could not arrest her and needed more proof to support their case. A few days later, an insider revealed crucial information. Most of Marie's relatives, as well as her husband, died of illnesses. They either died of tuberculosis or cerebral hemorrhage. None of them died naturally. All had unusual deaths, but no doctors noticed these odd patterns. The insider also disclosed that Marie had exhibited extreme selfishness and coldness from a young age. Born in Loudun in 1896, she married her cousin August Antony at 24, who died of tuberculosis 7 years later. A year later, Marie remarried Leon Besnard, a small-town rope merchant. Their life appeared peaceful and prosperous, but was fraught with underlying tensions. 12 years later, 2 wealthy members of Leon's family died, leaving most of their inheritance to Leon's parents. However, the lure of money brought death. Leon's parents died one after another, his father from poisonous mushrooms and his mother from pneumonia within 3 months. Another heir, Leon's sister Lucy, committed suicide a few months later due to a mental breakdown. Consequently, as the sole heir, Leon received the entire estate. 3 months later, Marie's father also died of a cerebral hemorrhage, and his estate fell into Marie's hands. Immediately after, Leon gave a house to a wealthy couple who, due to years of work, had no time to have children. When they heard Leon was giving them the house, they saw it as an opportunity to recuperate. However, the couple soon died of pneumonia, and bizarrely, they will name Marie as the sole heir to their estate. The lure of money continued, and death kept reaping. Over the years, Marie and Leon's relatives died one after another. As a result, Marie and Leon acquired 6 houses, 2 hotels, a cafe, and several horse farms, becoming notably wealthy in the area. However, as Marie's background was exposed, rumors spread throughout the town, and Marie received multiple death threats. Another informant revealed even more chilling information. Marie had said Leon was cheating on her and that she was preparing for a divorce. If Leon disagreed, then arsenic would be the best alternative to divorce. With enough clues collected, the detectives decided to conduct a more in-depth investigation, exhuming 12 graves of Marie and Leon's relatives. When the autopsy reports came back, they were astonished. Traces of arsenic were found in 11 of the 12 corpses. Eventually, 52-year-old Marie was arrested on a hot morning and faced 11 charges of murder. In February 1952, Marie stood trial for the first time. The courtroom atmosphere was suffocatingly tense. The prosecution accused Marie of poisoning several relatives with arsenic. They relied on forensic reports indicating high levels of arsenic in the victims' bodies. However, Marie's lawyers contested this claim. They challenged the forensic conclusions, arguing that the presence of arsenic alone did not prove poisoning, particularly since most of the victims' causes of death, tuberculosis, cerebral hemorrhage, and uremia, could not be attributed to arsenic poisoning. The trial saw significant evidence conflicts, and the court could not reach a conclusion. The judge declared a mistrial and decided to create a new panel of 3 experts to re-examine the autopsy reports. 2 years later, during the second trial in 1954, the controversy over toxicological evidence resurfaced. Experts' inconsistent interpretations of arsenic poisoning complicated matters further. One expert even lost his temper on the witness stand and refused to continue testifying. The second trial was again declared a mistrial. This time, the court allowed Marie to post bail of 1,200,000 francs, enabling her to wait outside of prison for the third trial. On November 20th, 1961, Marie was called back to court. The prosecution and defense continued to dispute the scientific evidence. However, this time the trial concluded with a decisive verdict. Marie's lawyer brought in a witness who pointed out that the Loudon Cemetery's caretaker had planted potatoes near the graves and used arsenic-containing fertilizer. The lawyer suggested that arsenic could have entered the bodies through the soil and diffused into them via anaerobic bacteria. Faced with this explanation, experts conceded that their techniques were insufficient to definitively prove that the arsenic in the bodies resulted from Marie's poisoning, especially given the technical limitations of the time and the inability to completely rule out other possibilities. On December 12, 1961, after 3 hours and 25 minutes of deliberation, the jury acquitted Marie Besnard. She was finally exonerated, ending a legal battle that had lasted over a decade. Ironically, despite her eventual acquittal, the state was not obligated to compensate her for the years she spent in prison. A weary lawyer concluded that the case might be the best example of pro-cremation. Perhaps Marie wasn't a serial killer, or perhaps she was the world's most skilled serial killer. After all, nearly all her family members died of illness, and she was the ultimate beneficiary.